Hello, everyone. So I am going to enlarge myself here. All right, so welcome, everyone. I am sorry I'm late getting started today, but I was jumping on because, as you know, when I'm on my own, I'm getting used to all the technical aspects of this. But welcome to the channel. We're doing a live every other Monday, and I am taking topics that you guys want to discuss. But what I think we'll move to doing is when we take a new podcast release live, that in the hour post podcast release, that we will end up doing a just being available for questions on it. And that might be a better time because our podcast will be going live, and then we can do a live session right after. So let me know if there's anything that you guys want to talk about. So we recently had taken the state of the man bush instead of the female version of that, and that went over really well as well. And I think that we all like just funny topics as well. So we'll cover that. But today I was just going to cover PT-141 because this is something we get asked a lot about, and there's a lot of people that actually will also reach out from afar and remotely about PT-141. So bremelanotide is the name of this peptide. And if you don't know peptides, even because again, I'm not sure I even clicked the right link for a live, but we are live regardless. So PT-141 is a peptide, and a peptide is an amino acid sequence that acts like a neurotransmitter in the body, or a hormone in the body, gives the body back what it needs. So bremelanotide, or PT-141, was actually discovered from the melanotan-2, which was a tanning peptide, and then that had an increased sex drive. And so then they discovered this segment of it. So all peptides are synthetic, made in a lab, but mimic either a part of a hormone or neurotransmitter or the whole thing, and it gives the body back what it needs. Insulin was the first peptide. So just know that PT-141 is a very popular peptide used for sexual function for both men and women, and approved in 2019. For women with hypoactive sexual desire disorder, Valesi was the name of that. And so it's also a compounded version. And again, there's conventional products. They're usually quite expensive and also very set in dosing. And so compounded pharmacies have allowed us the ability to customize for a patient and different dosings. And so therefore, if you're changing the dosing up a little bit, it'll last longer. You can adjust it just based on your needs. And so this is a peptide that everyone loves. It just depends on how, when they love it, because a lot of patients will get nausea with it. And so if you're going to get nausea, you might not love it at first, but just know that you acclimate to that. So there might be some flushing or some nausea, but that's okay. You will usually get used to that. So you don't want to do it for the first time on a special occasion, like you're going to, a big trip with somebody new, or you're getting married and you're on your honeymoon. You don't want to do it then. But basically, it works from the neuro pathway instead of the vascular pathway. And so instead of Viagra Cialis, where those are increasing blood flow to the penis to increase erections and blood flow for women, because again, arousal is a blood flow issue for women as well. And so it works centrally through the brain. So while we're regenerating and trying to improve blood flow, that we can also increase a desire that way. And at first we were thinking it was just desire that it would affect, but in fact, it makes erections harder. It gives that man back the confidence he needs. It increases dopamine activity. It triggers those arousal centers in the brain even before any physical stimulation. So Viagra Cialis require that physical stimulation, where PT-141 does not. So it can give a man that confidence back before they are ready for sexual activity. And as you know, even though it's not a psychological complaint, that it is does play a psychological component once you start to have inconsistent erection. So, and then side effects, potentially flushing, nausea, that's pretty common with either of or almost any of the peptides. And almost everyone loves it. It's two things. It's nausea, which people acclimate to, and it's also timing. So it might be that it works in 30 minutes. It might be that it works in 5 hours. And so you have to get that timing right for you. For us, just know that this is part of a stacked optimization program. So we always want to look at men and women from a comprehensive standpoint so that we are optimizing hormones if they need to be optimized. And then we can add peptides and stack peptides on to increase sexual desire and function. And then we want to regenerate, increase blood flow and sensitivity. And so that's regeneration for men, acoustic shock wave. We use GainsWave, which is a protocol for providers, and we are doing our GainsWave 2.0 this month at Revitalize, where we are using the focused acoustic shock wave so that we can get deeper penetration without it being uncomfortable for better results. And then we pair that with regenerative injectables or P-shot. And then there's other things. Again, you have to have Berkeley Life, in my opinion. Really, you have to have nitrates. And nitrates help with your nitric oxide production. Otherwise, it's an amino acid pathway, but that pathway decreases with age. And so if you have nitric oxide production, just taking a supplement that allows you to get all the nitrates that you need is helpful. And then you can basically have your Viagra Cialis work better. And I like a daily dose, a lower dose, less side effects, a combo product that work together. The vacuum erection devices and penis pumps are super helpful for increasing blood flow in during regeneration. So we're very comprehensive. Having a full evaluation if you're having any changes is helpful. And you can always set up a time to talk with us and just walk through your symptoms, SHIM score and erection hardness score. And basically, based on that, we can talk about the different stacks of things we would do. We almost talk to a patient as if they're in the office, even though we know a lot of patients are remote and are not. But then that way you kind of get all the information, and then we can help guide you to providers in your area, if that's the case, and do as much as we can remotely with you. I just believe that for men and women, it needs to be comprehensive. There's a whole stacking for sexual optimization as we get older, but just know, and the most important thing, and I think I am probably in the wrong connection because I'm not seeing the live comments and I don't have anyone else monitoring that for me right now. So I'm going to finish this up relatively quickly instead. Apologize for my tech savvy weaknesses, and then I'll just pop this one up so you guys can watch it, and then we'll try and do it next week. I want to do it from now on right after we take a podcast live. So we'll time it so that I'm available so that we can be available for the first hour after. And now we merged. I don't know if you know that, but we had two podcasts. We would do RMD, which was an aesthetic wellness podcast that we started in 2021 at the same time as the RevMD podcast. And it was RevMD Sex Bites podcast, which was a sexual wellness podcast. And that was because Revitalize MD and the practice that I founded in 2017 grew fast, but it also, it started with hormones and wellness and optimization. And then sexual wellness was an immediate addition. And then because people wanted to look better too, and I'm passionate about learning, we would start to add regenerative stuff on because I'm of that age as well. And kind of our ideal female patient, because I know what we want to optimize to actually feel and to look better naturally. So basically, we do an aesthetics too. So we wanted to separate those two out because not everyone wanted to hear about sex. But now, fast forward almost 6 years of doing two podcasts, it is going to simplify because our content on both of those were really just down to wellness or sexual wellness. So now it's going to be Sex MD Podcasts by Dr. Durst. And so we're going to load one a week, and it simplifies it for us and for you. We will put out on the community what time that will be, and then we'll go live. I'll go live right after for questions. So hopefully this gives you a little update on the PT-141. Again, the peptide neurologically functioning goes through the brain, not the blood flow, or not the blood vessels. And there is a commercially available product, Valesi, for women, but it's only for postmenopausal women right now. And so obviously we can do off-label, but compounded pharmacies allow us the option to treat a lot of other patients, a lot of off-label uses, but also a lot of customization of dosing. So, all right, guys, I look forward to seeing you right after we go live from now on with our podcast. And so, sorry, I don't think I connected with people, or maybe just a little too late getting on. But hopefully, this gives you just a little lowdown on PT 141 because we get asked that every day. So, all right, have a great evening.